It started at the beginning of the first lockdown, when I never thought I would be suited to work from home. I always had the view that work and your home lives had to be separated, at least by some physical distance, if nothing else. So I surprised myself, actually, that I even entered into this and thought it was a possibility. And during the early part of that lockdown, it was in March and April, and we had beautiful weather. My wife and I were sitting at the top over there on the ridge overlooking the pond, and we just said, you know, wouldn't it be something if we were to develop the back end of the garden and create this? And that was the embryo of the idea that we came to. Finding a room in the garden was probably the easiest bit, because we actually did what everybody did and researched online, and there's lots of products you can buy off the shelf, small little cabins and that type of affair. We didn't quite really feel that that's what we wanted, and I have a habit of perhaps going the yard further in my life and all these things, and we came across your website and we looked at it and we said, oh wow, this is something special. And it stood out. It stood out from all the others in respect of this is high end and this is bespoke, and we just liked the look of it. And of course then we contacted Lucas, and we went to see one of his projects in Cookfield, I think it was, and from that moment on I think we were hooked. When we started the project, when we started the design, I think the best thing about that was that there was a great deal of dialogue. We felt that everything we were discussing was being taken on board, and ideas were coming back to us that we hadn't thought about. The location, of course, is it's an ancient woodland. It's detached from my house, so we were worried about whether we could have all the technology here, which is important for my work. It was put to us, you could do this and you could do that, and the location, how to orientate the office so you get the best daylight, and the elevation of it, so it overlooked the basin and the pond area, and it evolved. What we thought we would start with, it just got bigger and better as time went on, and the project just expanded, but never in a regressive way. It was progressive, and it was enlightening, and it was really exciting. And then of course Lucas gave us the idea of, why don't I do a pathway for you which can circumvent right the way around, so it encloses the whole area and really gives you a safe walkway during the dark winter months when it gets very wet here, and that's brilliant. And it's all lit up, and it's all smart office, so everything, just by the click of a button you're there, and it looks good. And then of course the furnishings. Where I was coming from was a rented barn where I had furniture that was years old, even when I first got it 10 years back. And so Lucas came up with the idea of designing units and cupboards, and what was most important to me was an area that I could stand at and work at, apart from the desk area, which is the beautiful cabinets that you see behind me. And the height of them is just right, so I can actually stand and look at the many files and papers that come my way. So I'm not always sitting, I'm standing as well, which is, for me, is part of it. I don't want to keep sitting down all day. And then, and this most beautiful desk was also created with the view that when I have a big caseload come through, there's so much documentation that I need the space to spread out and to be able to work. So this caters very much for that. But also the location, the orientation is right central in front of the opening doors. So in the warmer months, and we're talking now in November when it's a bit cold and damp, but in the spring months and the summer months, the bifold doors open, and it's like I am actually sitting in the garden. And it's a beautiful location to sit and work. And when you're having to think very deeply about the issues that I have to think about, it couldn't be a better place. Now the experience of the team that came to do this for us, it was once again enlightening. How professional, how reliable, how polite, and everything was done always with care and meticulous work, totally meticulous, and was a surprise to us, but a great surprise. And we had enormous confidence from day one that these people knew exactly what they were doing, and they did, and they produced the most wonderful thing for me.